What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Sweeze, and on this channel we dive into wealth-building strategies, financial freedom, and setting yourself up for long-term success. And today, I'm excited to bring you a deep dive into the 5 essential rules to start building wealth in your 20s. Yes, you heard that right. It's never too early to begin setting yourself up for financial freedom. Now, this is a topic that hits home for me because, let's face it, in your 20s, it's easy to get caught up in lifestyle spending, socializing, and maybe even ignoring the big picture. But the sooner you get on track, the easier it becomes to build wealth over time. So stick around to hear my top 5 rules, and trust me, these steps could change your life. Let's kick things off with the foundation of wealth-building budgeting. Now I know budgeting might sound boring, but trust me, it's where everything starts. A lot of people think you only need to budget when money is tight. But the truth is, no matter how much you're making, you need to know where your money is going. I'm gonna break this down as simple as possible. You've got 2 types of spending: your fixed expenses and your variable expenses. Fixed expenses are things like rent, utilities, and loan payments. Those bills that don't change month to month. Then you have your variable expenses like groceries, eating out, entertainment, basically the fun stuff. Now here's where most people slip up. They ignore the small things like that $5 coffee or $20 lunch out with friends. And it adds up. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're spending $10 a day on eating out. Multiply that by 30 days and that's $300 a month. Imagine if you put that $300 toward paying off debt or investing. This is why I recommend using the 50/30/20 rule to structure your budget. You've probably heard of it before. 50% goes to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings and debt repayment. It's easy, flexible, and gives you the freedom to live without feeling restricted. And here's a pro tip: automate your savings. Set up automatic transfers to a savings or investment account right after you get paid. That way, you're saving without even thinking about it, and you'll be surprised how quickly your savings grow. Alright, now let's move on to rule number 2, save early and save often. I know everyone tells you to save, but have you ever wondered why starting early is such a big deal? Well, 2 words: compound interest. It's basically free money if you understand how it works. Here's the deal. Compound interest is when your money earns interest and then that interest starts earning interest. Over time, it creates a snowball effect. So the earlier you start, the more powerful this effect becomes. Let me give you a quick example to show you how powerful this really is. If you invest $100 a month starting at 25, and let's say you get a 7% return annually, by the time you hit 65, you'll have around $250,000. But if you wait until you're 35 to start saving that same $100 a month, you'll only end up with about $120,000. That's the power of time. Starting early, even with small amounts, can have a massive impact on your future. And I get it, you might feel like you don't have a lot to save right now, especially with student loans, rent, and everything else. But even if you can only save $20 or $50 a month, just do it. It's about building the habit, and trust me, your future self will be grateful. Here's another tip: don't just stick your money in a savings account that earns next to no interest. Look into high-yield savings accounts, or better yet, start investing. More on that later. Now let's talk about rule number 3, which is invest wisely. Saving is great, but you'll never reach your full wealth-building potential by just saving alone. You need to get your money working for you, and that means investing. Investing can sound intimidating if you're just starting out, but it doesn't have to be. One of the simplest ways to get started is by investing in index funds. They're low-cost, diversified, and they typically perform well over time. An index fund basically lets you invest in the entire stock market or a section of it, like the S&P 500, without having to pick individual stocks. Let me break it down. The S&P 500, for example, has returned about 10% annually over the long term. If you invest in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund, you're essentially betting on the top 500 companies in the US growing over time. Now you might be wondering, why not pick individual stocks? Well, unless you're a financial pro, trying to pick individual stocks can be risky and unpredictable. That's why I love index funds. They let you take advantage of the market's growth without the stress of trying to time it. Another great investment vehicle is a Roth IRA. If you haven't opened one yet, look into it ASAP. Roth IRAs let your money grow tax-free, and you don't pay taxes when you withdraw the money in retirement. It's one of the best long-term investment tools out there. So, whether you're putting your money in index funds, a Roth IRA, or even starting with something small like fractional shares, the important thing is to start now and be consistent. Moving on to rule number 4, and this one is a game changer: build multiple income streams. Relying on one job for your entire income is risky, and it limits how fast you can grow your wealth. If you want to accelerate your wealth building journey, you need to diversify your income sources. So what does that mean exactly? It could mean picking up a side hustle, starting a small business, or creating passive income streams. For example, you could start freelancing in your free time, invest in real estate, or even start a YouTube channel or blog that eventually generates ad revenue or sponsorships. Now, if you're just starting out, I recommend looking at what you're already good at. Maybe you're a great writer, try freelance writing. Or if you're tech savvy, you could get into web development or digital marketing. The internet has opened up so many opportunities to make money from anywhere. And here's the best part. Once you start building these income streams, you can reinvest that extra cash into your savings and investments, which speeds up your wealth building even more. It's like stacking multiple money machines on top of each other. And finally, we've got rule number 5, avoid bad debt. Now, not all debt is bad. For example, taking on student loans or a mortgage can be considered an investment in your future. But what you really want to avoid is bad debt, things like credit card debt, payday loans, or personal loans with high interest rates. Here's the thing, credit card companies are banking on you carrying a balance month to month. Why? Because they're making tons of money off the interest you're paying. If you're only paying the minimum, you're basically stuck in a cycle where you're paying way more for things than they're worth. My advice? Use credit cards only if you can pay them off in full each month. If you're already in debt, prioritize paying off the highest interest debts first. That's called the avalanche method. Or, if you need the motivation boost of quick wins, try the snowball method, paying off the smallest debts first and working your way up. So there you have it. The 5 essential rules for building wealth in your 20s: budgeting, saving early, investing wisely, building multiple income streams, and avoiding bad debt. These might sound like simple concepts, but it's consistently applying them that separates those who struggle from those who thrive financially. Remember, wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint. The steps you take today will compound and snowball over time, leading to a financially free future. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button. And if you're serious about taking control of your financial future, consider subscribing to the channel. I've got more tips, strategies, and real-world advice coming your way, so stay tuned. And before you go, drop a comment below with your biggest wealth-building goal. I'd love to hear where you're at in your journey. Until next time, keep grinding, keep saving, and keep building that wealth. Peace.